Welcome back to another episode of Not for the Weak-Minded. This is part 5 of my dissertation about the emulation of the technological creation by these demonic forces that reside in the Gentile royal elite, who have created this scenario through an outright deception upon humanity's minds about the real mechanisms that govern our existence. And by which I mean, as I've said before, they do not incorporate anything to do with the paranormal into any of the academic theories. And so in that right, again, that is censorship of reality, because ghosts do exist. And this is part of the problem, because they now have put you in a fear of the normal, and they feed off that. They feed off your fear, and you being many people being reluctant to actually accept the truth is giving them a great deal of energy and power. And unfortunately, if you knew that was what was really going on, you should, hopefully in time, sort of change your mind about how you kind of see this world and see yourself, because ghosts are real. And that means that when you actually question, well, what are ghosts, in your mind, and realize that, well, they're dead of the people, and why it says in the Bible, for example, why you shouldn't commit suicide, so you would end up in purgatory. Now we can get a big, hoo-ha about what that really is. However, in all honesty, it is where they kill themselves, and that many investigators go there using technology to prove that these people that commit suicide do still reside in the invisible, exactly where they did it, and they haven't gone anywhere. And requires other spiritualists, mediums that are, to go in there and talk to them to say, look, why did you do that? And unfortunately, suicide's on the rise, and depression and all these problems of our society, and all of them are created by our enemy, which are feeding off it. And it's all because they've lied to you about reality and yourself, that they've got away with it, and your soul relates to technology, because we can communicate with ghosts using technology, and people get possessed by demons, which is basically, right, if you went and Google demonology, it's a profession, right? So there's a profession of you can be a demonologist, and you're walking around this world thinking it's not even real, and yet now the gates of hell have been opened, because you don't even realize that you're in a frequency war, and that you relate to frequencies. Your mind, your subconscious is frequencies, your heart, is a toroidal field, and they know exactly how this reality works, about how to manifest their will. They have not told us this, how to. In fact, there is 2 lines in the Bible that is actually erased to actually tell you how to actually manifest your will using the toroidal heart and your mind. And unfortunately, when all of us are divided in mind, and we're all fighting for different things, and we're all fighting each other, and we're all, because they've used so many tactics through time to put nation against nation. It's bad, we all must snap out of this massive spell that Hollywood and these elites have put us under about reality, because if we don't, and when the bombs start flying, or whenever shit hits the fan, and you don't even know you have a soul, or and you die, well, chances are you're not even going to know you're dead, for one, so you will be in purgatory, and then obviously you'd have to wait judgment. And then when it says in the Bible about all souls being judged, that means there's an end. you know. And obviously this is very complicated ways of thinking about it, but when you start reading it in a more technological standpoint, it makes much more sense that what they are trying to achieve today is actually trying to emulate us, but do it their way and degrade our species by transhumanizing us and taking our temples so that these demons can use our bodies, which is exactly what you see in the film, like Venom and a lot of the other movies about, you know, transhumanism and, you know, and superheroes. It's remarkable, really. So anyway, let's get into it. Other key theories and concepts, and this is the key one for many people, because including, you know, close friends, they do not want to see space for them is real, in terms of that the earth is spinning, and, you know, they've gone to the moon and NASA, and it's a lie, but and it's been programmed into your mind to believe. Now that's the part of the problem as well, because people don't even want to perceive that they've been programmed, and that's part of, and again then that's part of the problem, because they don't understand that how they've done it through frequencies, and how the television's frequencies and your mind relates to frequencies, and all this life is being killed en masse using frequencies like heart, you know, and they're blaming it on global warming, and nature is created. You know, the Book of Enoch clearly states that there's portals at each of the corner positions, and that they have a function. You know, and this relates to, you know, the air and the currents and everything. The flows of the river, the rivers, everything's created. And they've just labelled it nature and insignificant, and now they've hijacked creation, and they're doing it their way. And unfortunately, when you see movies like Geostorm and see the weather, what's going on around the world, they've weaponized it. You know, you must see that all these chemtrails around the sky have actually pushed the passenger planes down further, so they're flying lower all the time. That's because they now have an artificial intelligence running the geoengineering program globally. And I'm telling you now that AI is nothing new. They've had, if you think in terms of what the military have had, far advanced of the commercial sector, it's not far-fetched at all, really, that the military have been are using artificial intelligence, is it? And they are globally. They globally are. Do not care about you. These you know, all these people that are royalists, love the royals, the British monarchy. Wake up. She is a demon. And she is guilty of, in a court of law, for 10 missing kids in Nairobi, 1976 or 9, I can't remember. Guilty though, nevertheless. She's a massive satanic paedophile, just like all the other ones are. And the problem is people shine away from the evils of this world, and well, that's a bad thing to do, because once you do, you need to not embrace it, but you need to sort of see what's going on and be aware of it, and then that will sort of allow you to bring out the light, you know, in yourself. You know, get a bit of compassion in your heart and a bit of, you know, morals. Anyway, the cosmological principles are entangled into every major theory which is taught at an academic level, and there's another false perception about reality that they have created through cult numerology and dodgy scientific tests, which I can prove with videos later on. It is absolutely absurd, right, to prove that the earth spins, you know, all metal bends. Anyway, it's ridiculous. That has further been subconsciously programmed into your mind to make you see or perceive this earth differently. Through this doctrine, they have put into the masses' minds, many believe that this place to be insignificant, a speck in the universe, of which we are not at the center and nothing special. They inverted everything in this world, and the truth is, it's the opposite. The Earth is at the center, it does not rotate, it is very special and significant, created, and you are all special because you have a soul. This is a frequency war, as I keep saying. One must not put any visualization of this earth with any reference to what you think you know and have been subconsciously programmed to believe it looks like from the television. The sun is local to our field of view and is an advanced sound technological device that is not millions of miles away. The moon is the same size. One is the greater light and the other is the lesser light. There is nothing new under the technological sun in regarding technologies now and the ancient past, and by which I mean nanotechnology and electricity. And this proves, you know, if you research ancient nanotechnology discoveries, that the fact that they need electricity to do it, and you'd see that how wrong you have been and how much they've lied to you about the ancient past and how they had rockets and how history really is repeating itself. So it's particularly about Babylon on the rise and their whore culture. You know, they're trying to push for paedophilia to be acceptable, and they're using genetics to do it. It can be a born paedophile? No, because you don't understand. Can you be born gay? You can be programmed to be gay born? Yes. That's why. You gotta know the difference. You gotta know how they do it, and it's to do with frequencies, and not knowing that your baby hears things in the fetus. So if you listen to a lot of gay stuff, well, guess what? Your baby's gonna be gay as hell. They have so far patented, developed, and are now using in low Earth orbit a fake holographic sun simulator for the next part of their philanthropist agendas. So they're trying to emulate it, yes, regardless of how you want to look at it. In recent years, thanks to the non-academic researchers, the knowledge about aliens has been brought to the masses' attention. Through again, and there's an agenda, through again, the selectiveness of the historical records. I can't even read my own fucking dissertation in it, which the academic society completely ignores. These people have helped in the perception of an alien invasion from Mars and seem more trustworthy as they're exposing the academic lies. Should have been. As you will see from the image is in the discussion section, Venus and the stars are not what you've been told due to them being very local to our field of view, which is why you need to understand about perception and the camera, and I've done videos about that and how that's also tricked your mind to perceive this reality twice the size it should be, and therefore you need to literally see that with your own eyes to know that actually, yeah, that makes sense, because I can see things closer with my eyes than I can with when the camera's full zoomed in. Right, where was I? Oh yes, the alien invasion from Mars. So no, that's not no. You're not going to Mars. No, you know, we have been to the moon, but it's not where we think it to be. It's local, and they have put a light up there. So there's 2 lights up there, and that's another biblical reference. Anyway, and the stars. That was what I was going to do. One there. And that has to do with the mechanisms that govern our existence, i.e. the toroidal field, and why they wander, and why they twinkle to our eyes. It's because they wander, and they're very local to it, you know? So you can film this yourself, literally go up, see the brightest star you see, zoom in as close as you can with your camera, and try and, you know, get a tripod, and it will move. Trust me. They wander. So therefore, you should wander, you know, a little bit more. So Tesla once said that the current cosmological mathematics are not based on real science, as what we can see with our eyes tells us something very different, and that's exactly what I just told you. He also said that when the academic society starts to investigate truthfully the unseen world, of which there is more than we can see with our eyes, that we would make leaps and bounds society towards a better future. What do you think he meant by that? By which I mean free energy, you know, and around the world, free clean wireless energy, structures that heal based on sound technology, knowledge of the soul and out-of-body experiences, and reality, essentially. Because guess what? As I said at the start, they have not incorporated the paranormal into any of the academic theories, so that is censorship of the academic records. Full stop. Currently, the mathematical principles are out by the power of 120 zeros after it, making it the biggest mismatch in scientific history. And I can show you that it's not my words, it is theirs. Here is the honest truth. The world you live in, is a lie, and we as a species have found out that the real principles are everything to sacred geometry, cymatics, advanced genetics, the Fibonacci sequence, toroidal fields, and sonoluminescence. And that is exactly where I'm going to leave it for this video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're kind of getting it, but it's hard to see bits, to believe it when it's just being told to you. I kind of understand that. So I will, once I've read it, and there is pictures, by the way, at the end, as it says, you know, in the content. So hopefully you'll keep watching, keep listening to what I have to say. You know, what I'm added into this dissertation, which could have been much larger, much bigger, about, you know, everything that's been researched by everyone, which I've incorporated into my, you know, overall perception of what's really going on, you know, the bigger picture. So thank you very much. Please share, like, subscribe.